The possibilities of Netflix MCU characters coming into the MCU proper. Next up, on Just a Talk. Let's do it. And welcome to the Flicks, Picks, and the Nitpicks. And I'm your host, No718. This is Just a Talk, where we just talk, no filters, we talk scoops, movie news, all of it. This is where I can be the most consistent while I can work on better and more produced videos, as opposed to these are just easier to produce, but I can actually just talk loosely about the conversations that we're having online, but my way. So welcome to Just the Talk. It's your boy Nove. So let's just get into it. Now, is it possible? Well, let's first of all, let's talk the Netflix MCU, because I really enjoyed the Netflix MCU. Everybody hated Iron Fist. Yeah, we'll get to Iron Fist in a sec. We already know Daredevil, boom, classic comic book TV film. It really put itself into classic status. It will always go down as a classic. It was excellent. Jessica Jones, I didn't see season 2. I didn't get a chance to see season 2. Really loved season 1. I know some people a little on the fence with that. I really loved it. Boom. I really enjoyed the first half of Luke Cage. The second half was left less to be desired. You know, after Cottonmouth died, it just got different. They needed it just turned into something else with Diamondback and everything. They could have worked that better. Iron Fist, I actually liked Iron Fist. Could have been better, but I liked it. Could have been better. Could have been better though. Definitely could have been better. It's the less solid of the 4, and I really did enjoy the Defenders. I really did like that. That being said, because we already know people shit on Finn Jones' rendition of Iron Fist, it's highly unlikely that we won't see him coming back. Everybody knew that. We already know that Daredevil is in the MCU now. We already knew that was going to happen. And they made it a point to let you know that, it's Daredevil. Not just some blind guy we're nodding to. That being said, we knew that he was going to come into it because he was the fan favorite. You don't want to lose that. And especially with the cachet of people coming back, fan favorites coming back to a franchise, as in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and coming back and getting vindicated and all of that, it was kind of expected that would happen. I'm not even going to lie. It was kind of expected that would happen. So you want to capitalize on that, especially post the pandemic. You want as much cachet as possible going into making these films, especially event films, because then that will also gear it towards to being more of an event film. And what's a better event than bringing out these characters that we never thought that we would ever see on the big screen, let alone at all, and they're getting imported from Netflix onto MCU proper in a very proper way, even though they kind of were loosely joined. But because you had 2 different studio heads, they nodded to each other, but they didn't want to do it properly and really ingratiate these characters into the universe. That being said, we gotta ask ourselves, what are the possibilities? Well, the possibilities gotten a lot better with multiverses. You don't want to restart these characters from scratch and do origin stories already when they've already been done excellent and well. Why would you want to do that with Daredevil? Daredevil is going to be the anchor to keep all these guys in. Daredevil and especially Punisher. to keep their canons and their backstories intact. That's going to be the anchor to keep them. But Luke Cage, I think that the physicality, I think they would have taken it. I think they did not like that story at all. I think Jessica Jones, they would have accepted the first one. Possibly not the second, because I hear a lot of bad things about the second one. Well, not a whole lot, but I heard it wasn't that good. Even though I heard the same people say they didn't too care for the first season. I really enjoyed the first season. I really, really liked the first season. So the question again would be, who else they got? We already know unanimously nobody really too cares for, outside of me, too cares for Iron Fist. I liked the Iron Fist. I didn't think it was all that, but I liked it. It was entertained. I liked the girl in it though. She was real dope. And certain shots and certain things that I did enjoy. But here we go. I don't see them taking Finn Jones. And I believe that's his name. Let me make sure I got his name right. Yeah, Finn Jones. So I just don't see them bringing him in. But if you don't bring him in, then what? So the Defenders never happen, and that's what's gonna kill it. What I would do is I would have spent this whole time sending him martial arts lessons and building up the character from the background to surprise people what we can do with the next season with this guy, because he's already in it, or recast and just say that was his story, but we gotta do actor playing him, and let's move on. F it. Move on. I would keep Luke Cage. I'd keep the Diamondbacks and all of that happen, but we'll make a strong pivot from how that went down. Like in certain things, not how it went down, but how he handled these characters moving forward with better writing. You know, and kind of lean more into what they were doing in the first half of the season, and really bring in something more, just so we could really develop Luke Cage as a character that we could really like work with. Like, I feel like Luke Cage would have, if he was just a show, he could have took a whole lot from the Hulk, the old Hulk, because now you don't have to paint him green or nothing. He could just get mad. I mean, you don't have to use the mad thing, but he's bulletproof, so he could be protecting people from town to town to town to town, encountering interesting villains. He could have worked and been on the run doing it, and been incognito, and the whole thing with the hoodie would have worked. And yes, you could have played into that too in the episode like we would have did back in the 90s, but really did a real excellent job of it without even having to beat people over the head. I mean, there was just mad different ways you could really depict it, told his story. But if you want to keep him in New York, so we could build into all the other relationships that he has to have to get him wherever you want him to be, because he's been even an Avenger in the comics, and he has a relationship with Jessica Jones, and they have a kid together. There's so much you can do. There's so many ways you could build that character up to do it. That's all I'm saying. So you could really rework his character and take all the great things that they had in the first season and build on that heavy. And if you want to, like, say you want to bring Diamondback back to redevelop the good things that they had, the story and how they put it together, you want to refix, then you can kind of work that in too. Because I'm sure there's a way you could refurbish that character and work him into looking back at that first season with a better lens. Because, to be honest, the first half of the season was just fine. The second half just kind of went down in tonality, and it just kind of pivoted. And a lot of that was because the villain was completely different. You had a more charismatic villain in the beginning, and he's playing Blade now. I forget his name right now. But you had him. And now you have Diamondback, which was such a far contrast. His name is going to bother me. Hold on a second. Mashallah Ali. Yeah. So, he was just a better villain in Cottonmouth. That made the whole series a lot more interesting. With that being said, what could you do with Luke Cage to take that and turn it into something better? I think you have so much more good coming out of the Netflix series that I would invest in the refurbishing and kind of writing the characters in a way that makes you look at their first introductions, all the bad parts, in a better light, and furthering these characters in a better way with better writers for their series, and still bringing in everything that we've already set up. And I think that there's a way that we can do that. I didn't see the second season of Luke Cage, I'm not gonna lie, but I would hope that there's good things in it. That being said, matter of fact, was there a second season of Luke Cage? I think there was. Hold on a second. Yeah, there was a season 2. I just didn't see it. So again, I think that there might be things there. I think you have a good actor for it, though. I think he's a great actor to play. The actor that plays Luke Cage, I think he's good. And he's solid. I did like him more in Jessica Jones series for some reason. I wasn't sure if he could carry it. I think he can. I just think they need better villains for him and to give him a better arc. Now, the possibilities, with that all being put there are some, I feel like there are more possibilities that they will renege on the initial idea of revamping these characters from scratch. And you'll see the same actors in the same role. At least most of them. I don't think Finn Jones would, but I think he'll take all the actors. Now, in terms of their Netflix stories and stuff being part of the franchise, I think now that they're trying to do a Midnight Suns, I think they're more inclined to, because they set these characters up. But I did not see how they treated Kingpin in Hawkeye series. But the way they shot him, he looks like he's a completely different character, more out of the cartoons, which makes me wonder, is this a different incarnation of these characters? Which I hope it's not. I hope it's not. But that's where you're going to find your possibilities. I think it's possible more now than ever because people want to see these same exact characters here. So from what we actually noticed by audience approval with the Spider-Verse, and these not being different renditions of these characters, even though we're using the actors, that's not the same characters. They're not doing that. These are the same exact characters. And we see all the cachet that comes with it. I think these are the things that's going to make it more possible to see these characters come into the MCU. And from what I understand, they brought everyone back except Mike, what's his name? Mike Kohler. I hope I'm saying his name right. The actor that plays Luke Cage, I don't think he's been confirmed to be back. I think Jessica Jones, the actress, Miss Ritter, I think, yeah, Mike Coulter. I keep thinking it's a U for some reason. Coulter. Luke Cage is the actor, but I do think that Kristen Ritter, I think she's confirmed to be back. I definitely know that the actor that plays Punisher is back. They got him signed back. So it seems like we're getting to that point where it's only a matter of time to hear that Mike gets brought back. Because it wasn't him as an actor, it was the story. Kristen Ritter is a good actress. Unless you think that you want to go completely a different direction, I think I would keep her. Finn Jones is the only one that we worry about, and the only thing that is saving him is the fact that he was actually in the Defenders series, and the fact that they did it. So they might want to work with him, if they haven't been working with him these past couple of years on martial arts and building this character now. I thought he was cool, but it wasn't the best out of all of them. It really wasn't. Iron Fist wasn't the best out of all of them. It really wasn't. But I do think there are the possibilities as time goes on is getting more probable that we will see them reinstated, and the possibilities are growing little by little that we will import their backstories little by little. It's that how they handled Kingpin. I gotta see the Hawkeye thing to see how they handle Kingpin. That could change everything for me. Now them coming into the films, that I don't know. We seen them do that with Daredevil, but we don't know for sure if they're gonna do that with all the characters. And that's the thing. We're not sure. And because we're not sure, we can't expect that they'll all come into the movies and have films. They may just have Netflix films, if not a series. We just don't know what the decision's going to be. But I do think that they're going to go series with them, and I think that will be the better direction. If they revamp their whole backstories and all of that, that's when I think they're gonna go mini like a movie. Because then it'll make sense. Because then now you could do beginning, middle, and end, boom. And now we can reset the whole thing. This is a new cast, a new everything. And I don't think you got the cast. I don't see the point. They're already hired. It's all about, are they ready to go? Do they have any conflicting anything? But I think you will want to keep Foggy. I think you will want to keep the core. Definitely you want to keep Foggy. And the redhead, I forget her name, Karen. At least when it comes to Daredevil. You want to keep their core. And if you have to recast lesser known ones that we would be like, oh, I forgot he's playing that character, but they barely were in it because we got the core, the main guys that we need. That being said, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you think that what do you think are the possibilities? I think it's getting more possible every day, way more possible than it was in the beginning. For where the MCU stands at now, they don't have time to revamp people's backstories and do the beginning stages of Daredevil. Unless they skip with these people already with their powers intact, unless they want to have a different origin story, I figure use what you already have. They have a good backstory. You could do things to make you look at certain things in the backstory different, just to put them a little bit more aligned into the MCU aesthetics, if you will, or wherever you wanted to go now. And yeah, because this is what's going to bring in the hype. Because we already had experienced their backstories. We know these characters. So when we see them put into a bigger ensemble, that's what boosts their level of excitement. Or at least help boost it exponentially. But leave it in the comments below what you think, man. You already know what it is. That's it for this episode of Just the Talk. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time. And as always, till I have a better outro. Chill.